I've been known for making motorcycles for the longest time. That's all I used to ever build. I got into building other things, but this kind of was inspired by just my background of riding Harleys and growing up with Harleys and stuff. And I always look for something to build different that nobody's ever seen before. So when I saw this air radial chopper, I said, this is going to be a challenge for me to make this thing. How am I going to do it? I got a 1/12 scale Revell chopper kit, used part of the frame, but everything else is mostly scratch built. The engine is a 3D printed engine. What my friend Steve Alderman printed this for me, but it came in like a one-piece 3D printed engine. So what I had to do was cut out the push rods and part of the engines and to put my twist on it with real pieces of aluminum and wired it and all that. And as far as the frame, I kind of basically scratch built the frame, used part of the kit parts, but in some way modified it. The fender and rear tire is from Aardvark. I don't know if you remember well, I used that, and the paint is Alclad paint, Alclad finish. And a lot of people think that it's metal, but it's not metal. It's plastic. And I've taken this to IPMS shows, and it didn't even get looked at because IPMS shows is a plastic-based, model show. So I had to say, hey, you know what? This isn't metal, it's plastic. So I go pick it up, and they pick, oh my God, it is plastic.
But that's the cool trick.
Yeah.
The fact that they were convinced it was metal means you pulled it off just right.
And I like to take my pictures outside when they're finished. And I use a little bench table that has been weathered out in the sun for years, and I lay it flat on the grass and lay on my stomach and put the bike on there and just turn the bike, and I have the scenery of the background, and they look real. People going, is that a real bike or is it just a model? And they can't tell sometimes, but I'm really, really happy with how this came out. Like I said, it's an Alclad finish, and then it's got several washes of acrylic paints and wired and plumbed.
On top of the Alclad?
No, it's a primered body in parts, and then I paint a flat black spray paint, and it's smooth, and then I clear coat it with a 2-part urethane. It's got to have a really, really shiny coat, and then I'll take the Alclad, and the Alclad will be chromed like this. The whole bike is just shiny chrome, but what I wanted to do was give a wash to all kinds of different parts so that it looks like it's different aluminum or steel or, different metals. So that's what that is.
I think that is so successful on this. There's just such subtle differences. I think everything is basically black and white that we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like an Ansel Adams print. The art doesn't require color to own the scene.
When I saw this on the web, it wasn't painted then, and I liked the look that it had in the raw. So that's the way I wanted to build it, and it came out good, I think, without being painted. So I just left it like that. I mean, I can paint shiny cars, but I like to do this. I've always liked to do weathering. Trial and error just made me, doing it over and over and over. I finally think I know how to do it now. So.
Gorgeous piece.
Thank you.
The red on that really just caught my eye because it's so deep.
Well, there's a lot of fogging also.
Are you machining anything for these?
I don't machine anything. All of my stuff is either modified or scratch built. I mean, the only, these rods here, those are aluminum tubing, but that's really as far as I go. I wanted that look on this car because the real car there isn't really any chrome up here. It's kind of like a grayish thing. So I just thought that fit the car well.
Is this a replica of a real car?
You know what? Part. Okay, 90% of it is replica, but I didn't put it in replica because I put wheel pants on the car.
Oh, I love that.
Now, the guy that I asked for pictures of this car, he was thrilled that I was going to make a replica of it. Yeah. But I said, I'm not going to make a total replica. I'm going to put wheel pants on it. And he goes, wheel pants? Yeah. Oh my gosh, maybe I should put those on there on my real car. And when I showed it to him finished, he goes, you know what, I think I'm going to put wheel pants on my car because that was my little add to this.
Is that like art imitating life and then life imitating art when it goes back to him and he puts those on?
Yeah, he really liked it. And I really liked the car because, I've made a lot of dragsters but this body style, it just looked like an alien or something up here. And I'm always looking to build stuff that nobody's ever seen before,
So you got to visit the actual car?
No. I don't have any true measurements of it or anything. I just had to eyeball everything, all the pictures. any picture I get, I have to like kind of think of, I don't do by measurements or anything like that, which like Randy Durr would do or somebody like that. That's beyond my level.
It's the free artistic part. The fact that it's really, your journey within building it, and that's what you really enjoy, and that can come out without that pressure.
Well, I mean, and this, probably, I built this like in 2 months. Okay?
No way.
And people are going, how can you build a model in 2 months? Well, okay, first, I'm retired. Second, I love what I do, and I can sit at the bench for 5 or 6 hours a day if I want. Even on 1 cup of coffee, that's it. I just love it so much. That's what I love to do. I love models. I loved them as a kid, and 12 years ago is when I started building. But I built as a kid. But 12 years ago, I was married and kids and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to have a little time for myself. So I built models, and then my hobby store I went to, they said, John, you come in here and buy a lot of materials and stuff. Why don't you bring a model in sometime? So I brought in a couple, and they go, wow, this is really neat. You should take these to the model car shows. I go, model car shows? They're around? And they go, oh yeah, there's one like next month, and I've always wanted to go to a model car show as a kid, and I never got to because I didn't know where they were. So anyway, I go to this model car show, my friend takes me. It's called the Grand Nationals Roadster Show, and they had a model car show in there. Well, I brought 50 models. 50, and people were like on the phone, this guy just brought in 50 models, he's crazy and all this stuff. Well, I won Best of Show that day, and it made me feel so good that I was hooked. I don't think that I'm better than anybody, and I think I do a good job, but when I see somebody's models better than mine, I go and shake their hand, and I said, you know what, I'm so glad to meet you because I think you're a really good builder, and I like to acknowledge people that are good.
As we should be.
Just like Randy. He came up to me and told me he really liked my stuff, and I'm like, Randy Durr's telling me that he likes my stuff, and he's a god, man, so.
Question on paint. This is like one of the deepest candy apple reds I've seen on a model.
Thank you.
And it's got a real vibrance to it.
Well, sometimes you can put like a gold base on a candy apple red. Well, I put a silver base on this, and I kind of toned it down with the candy. I mixed a little bit of like, not burgundy, but it's like a cherry or something. Okay. I mixed it, and I liked it. It came out pretty good. Then I had to do the fogging on it, and that's the hard part, because if you fog a car that hasn't been cleared yet, the black will mesh into the paint. So I had to clear coat the whole car first, and then go back and fog it, because if I messed it up, I can clean it off. So you had a strategy. Yes, I mean, I've learned trial and error, right? Exactly. So I got pretty good with the airbrush I use. I don't use any of the fancy $300 Watas and all that stuff. I got a Pache single action that's got the 135 tip.
Yep.
I usually use the 1 when I'm doing fogging like this, because I can really go, and I got where I can go straight, and I learned how to use it. And usually my fogging turns out decent, so.
Gorgeous.
And then I clear coat it again, and then I sand it all down, clear coat it again, and then I give it one last, wet coat of sand with 2500 or something.
These lights really catch that well.
I'm really happy with it. And same thing with this. I used Alclad on some stuff and used the acrylic washes on some of them.
And the wheels, that tire looks, that's rubber. The gloss on the body just makes it even that much like a slick soft.
Thank you. What I do on my tires is I paint them black with the acrylic paint, like I said, and then I put the decal on, and then I do like a wash over that about 3 or 4 times, and then it comes out looking like but I sand it too. I sand, the slick part.
So we're looking at paint.
Yeah, that's painted. It's a rubber tire, but I paint over the rubber.
But what our eyeballs see is that finish. That's very convincing.
Like these are resin, and I painted those, same thing, and then put decals on and then weathered them too.
Am I looking at a ton of scratch building?
Yes. First of all, the body is a 3D printed body from Kevin Ellis in Canada. I saw his 3D printed work, and I said, hey, I'm going to build this Jocko car. And I built one in 25th scale, but I would like a 1/16th scale. Do you think you can make it for me? He goes, well, I'll try, John. So I sent him a bunch of pictures, what I had, maybe 10 of them. And he came back a week later and gave me the drawing of what he did. He goes, John, I had to change it because the pictures you had weren't the right one, how it really should look. So he came up with it, but it was in 2 halves. and the canopy was off. So I had to glue the two halves together. And I don't know if you've seen 3D printed finish. It's not smooth. So I had to put Bondo all over the thing, and then sand it, and then primer it, and then get it as, like a baby's butt smooth, and then paint the black lacquer over it, and then clear coat it, and then put the decals over it, and then clear coat it again, and then sand it and clear coat it again. That's why it's got a good depth to it.
Boy. The shine is great. The richness of the black color is really deep. Is that House of Colors or not?
This is House of Color black. All my paints are usually House of Color or Tamiya. As far as the chassis, the donor was a Revell kit, but I only had to use certain, because I had to use like a rear engine part of the kit, and I had to redo the whole front end because, you know, not a lot of dragsters have this kind of front end. These are the supports for the body up front. This is the supports for the body in the back. The engine is a Revell kit, but I did a bunch of modifying to it because I only had like 3 pictures of the real car. So I had to, you know, study the pictures and do the best I could. Then I added a driver in there, and I got it pretty close to the original. I kind of added this to it. I made this. This is all the guts in here, the 9-volt battery, and then I made the tree. Okay, there's pre-staged, staged, and then if I count down, and then you could pre-stage, and then you could red light it if you want. So I thought that was kind of neat to stick by it, you know?
Yeah. What a cool piece.
Let us have a class again at GSL. Third place, Air Radial Chopper by John Teresi. And I wouldn't go too far. The Porsche Killer. Competition straight line. Third place, the Jocko Wynns-liner, John Teresi. The final GSL award for this class goes to John Teresi for the trophy.